morning, good morning, good morning. I know I'm probably talking to myself, but it's okay. I do it pretty often. So this morning I wanted to give my Invest Fest review. We are on the road, heading back up north, bright and early. Try to avoid this Georgia traffic, but looks like we hit it anyway. It was a great weekend. It flew by. It really flew by. The time, I don't know where time is going, but it's definitely flying in all aspects. The summer flew by. In a few days we're in September. Right? It's wild. In a couple of months the year's over. So Invest Fest 2025. I had a blast. It did not feel like work at all. The energy was up. It was a lot of great vibes, a lot of foot traffic, and the most impressive thing to me that I've seen this weekend, because I was asked about it in an interview. I did a ton of interviews. I must have did about 10 interviews. But in one of the interviews, I was asked by what the most impressive thing to me was. And on the spot, I had to give an answer. But I went back and I thought about it, and I think the most impressive thing that I saw this weekend was the amount of young black journalists. There's people that have a desire to want to do journalism, to want to record, to want to interview, and I think that's pretty cool. You control your own narrative when you can put your own media stuff out. So I think it's very important for us to have individuals that want to put news out there and work like that, and to see the amount of young people doing it, 22 years old, 21 years old, it was a great thing to see, so I think that was the most impressive thing to me, was the amount of young folk doing their media. So it looks like traffic is slowing again, but my new book that I launched, Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home, was on fire. Did we leave the book for KG?
Yeah, I put it on the table.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? The new book that I launched was on fire. I got it's an awareness book, and it's doing exactly what I intended it to do. I moved my son to Alaska in January, and that was the inspiration for the book. What I didn't know was that I was going to be so emotional talking about the book. And people that were talking to me about the book could relate, and people whose sons were home and they know that they're going to be leaving soon, it was hitting a nerve with them as well. So you do work anticipating one thing, and it goes to a totally different area or atmosphere. It brings me to a totally different zone, because that was never the intention. I never thought I would be getting emotional about the book, but in talking to people and hearing some of their stories and why I ended up putting the book together and how things turned out, it was very emotional at different points throughout the weekend. So I'm realizing how powerful of a book it is, which I did not anticipate. I knew it had some gems in there, but in just discussing with people, I realized the impact that the book is going to have. So that was dope. And of course, Dogs in the Wild did his thing. As usual, Dogs in the Wild did his thing. It was a successful trip. It was a great trip. Looking forward to 2026. God
police reported ahead.
They got the waffles. It's on point. The sauces, they're on point. So if you're ever in Atlanta, the Flavor Off the Fork food truck is definitely a must-have. And then for some soul food, I went to Gus All American. I'm not sure if I'm calling that right, but that's my regular soul food spot that I go to when I'm out in Atlanta. What was the name of the restaurant KT took us to?
The Jamaican one?
Yeah.
I think I took a picture.
I think Thursday night we went to a Jamaican spot for some Caribbean food. JB.
Yeah, I think.
That was nice. I got pineapple stewed chicken, pineapple chicken that was hitting. Veggies was hitting, the rice and peas, the plantain was hitting. It's hitting. And every time I come out to Atlanta, every Caribbean spot I touch is on point. Like, I was supposed to go to my cousin's spot, but I did not make it. My cousin has a spot, but I did not make it this trip. But I'm always in the A, so I'll be back soon. And we got a Bronx teacher that wants me to come in and talk to her students, her senior class, about is your son ready to leave home? The new book I got out. She put in an order for books. The DOE, she sent me the message last night. So I'll be taking care of that sometime today. And met a lot of authors, aspiring authors. And, people that read, I got a lot of questions about did I write it or did I let AI write it? And I tell them, no, AI doesn't have anything to do with what I create. I don't even let AI rewrite my sentences when I use Grammarly. I'm using Grammarly for my pre-edit before I send it to the editor, or else she'll be trying to edit it for months. I let Grammarly do it, but I just want it to correct my grammar as far as spelling, commas, and the likes thereof. But it keeps trying to rewrite my sentences. Grammarly, you don't know how I write. So for you to try to put it the way you want to, it doesn't work for me. So and Grammarly, I feel like it gets aggressive with me. Like I feel like it wants to make me rewrite it the way they want me to write it, but no, so I am very big on authenticity, originality, creativeness. I'm not very big on letting something create your work for you and putting it out there. You have a lot of influencers who are pushing that, but I'm also very big on protecting your work. So if you're listening to these influencers that are saying, let AI write your book, they're not talking about the copyright and ownership of the book. And ownership is everything. So you can't on one hand be telling people, let AI write your book, and then on the other hand telling people AI is everything. Ownership.
In a quarter mile, continue straight onto Lee Bird Road.
Confess fast, you spelled my name wrong. I don't know who Kevin Blaize is. Maybe that'll be an alias in one of my books.
Continue straight onto Lee Bird Road.
Maybe that'll be an alias in one of my books. Continue straight. But the parking got me.
Continue on Lee Bird Road for 1.5 miles.
This guy at the parking made me pay for parking 2 days. I'm supposed to be a vendor. It's the third day he finally realized I ain't supposed to be paying for parking. It's all good. It's all good. Troy Cummings came around, was checking out the booths. I called him over to my booth, and he came when he finished checking a couple booths that was close by. and he saw the "Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home" book, and he asked. He said, he told me the age of his children. He said he always likes to talk to people that have older children to get some advice. So he said, "What's the being that I told him how I moved my son to Alaska, and he said, so what's the most important thing that you told him?" Another question caught me off guard. And I thought about it for a second, and I said, for you not to worry about what anybody else is doing around you. Don't worry about who's ahead of you, who's behind you. You got to just stay focused and complete the mission at hand, complete the task at hand. And with him, he is a very focused individual, and he's not a follower, but just to reiterate those kind of things, he's very disciplined, but I think that's the most important message I can give him while he's out there, is to focus on the mission at hand. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. So it's great to hear questions
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Highway 81 North.
that you got to think about. It's not great when you're on the spot and you're there, you got to answer the question, but questions that make you think, those are
At the stop sign, turn right onto Highway 81 North.
I had a young man come and buy every book that I had on the table, one of each. And I asked him, I said, what do you do when you find that you don't have enough time to read?
Continue on Highway 81 North for 7 miles.
And he said that he thought about it. He said, that's an excellent question. And I thought, because we didn't finish the transaction yet. He had the books in his hand, and I said, did I just make this guy think that he got too many books? He gonna put some back? But he thought about it, and he said, I give a lot to people, so when I find I'm not getting enough time to read, I pull myself back and refocus on me, which is an excellent thing. You can't give your all to everybody all the time. You have to focus on you. You can't help others when you're not taking care of yourself. So that was a great gem that he dropped there, where he said he pulls himself back, and I gave him my gem. I said, leave the books in the bathroom and leave the phone out in the bathroom when you go to the bathroom. You can get through any book that way. Not only my books, any book you want to get through, you leave the phone out the bathroom and leave the books in the bathroom. So when you're on the bowl and you get up and your legs feel like they're numb, do the same thing, but reading now instead of scrolling. So that's my gem of the day, the gem of the year for you. Those of you that want to start reading more, because a lot of you need to start reading more. A lot of you really need to start reading some more. That's my gem of the year. You got the time, it's just how you utilize the time. So, what else was going on in Invest Fest? A lot of New Yorkers were out there with vendors. A lot of New Yorkers were out there as vendors. I used to think that we don't need to do Invest Fest in New York, but this year kind of changed my mind with the amount of New York vendors that were out there. Maybe we could one year get it in New York. I don't think Manhattan would be the ideal place. The location is something that would have to be discussed, but Manhattan would be convenient to get to for people attending, as far as transportation, subway system, but the parking, the hotels, the prices of everything in New York is just makes things a little more difficult. So I don't know if the outskirts that were there from New York. Like I had a brother JD from Buffalo. He had a clothing line. Brother Corey from Queens. He had a clothing line. New York vendors were out there heavy. Met a lady from Portland. She had her candles. Our row was lit. Like it was lit. We had I went to Invest Fest one year, and the lady next to me, she kept complaining because the people across from her kept coming over to like her area while she was talking to customers and talking to them while she was talking to them. So the people had, like, their young kids were doing it, and she was getting really annoyed. But our section yesterday, our area yesterday, was everybody was respectful of the space of the other vendors. It was cool. It was a cool vibe. All love inside there, and they were making sales. So when you're making sales, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So this live is gonna be for 12 hours because I got a 12-hour drive. So get your popcorn. Get your popcorn ready. The sun's in my eyes. I need my shades. I got no shades. But I didn't get to go inside and hear anybody speak, but we had somebody inside that was recording, so hopefully she sends that stuff over. It'd be nice if she sent it over now so we could listen to it on the drive down. That'll be real nice. It's not a bad idea. I'm gonna make a phone call, see if we can get that going. But what else? I arrived Thursday, and my check-in time was from 1 to 2 or from 2 to 3, but I went 9 in the morning when they opened up. I went in, and I was in and out of there. Check-in was really smooth, and when it comes to black people, you just gotta show up a little bit earlier and you'll be good to go, because punctuality is not unfortunately, it's not a strong point for a lot of us. So I've trained myself to always arrive early. Even when I'm gotta double back for something, I'm early enough that I'm still on time. So, and it's a great trait to have. It shows responsibility, and you respect what it is that you're working with. So I showed up 9 o'clock, and I was in and out. To leave now, I didn't go the route that they suggested. I pushed my cart out to the street, and then that was crazy because I think there was a Falcons football game, or there was something else going on. So roads were blocked. My niece was standing out in the sun waiting for me to bring the car out. It was chaos, man. But we got it eventually. So next year, what I'll do is probably take some stuff out a little earlier, so I can push the stuff up the hill at the end of the event, and the cart won't be too overpacked. Or maybe just bring less stuff inside. But I had a mannequin, I had a gate, my t-shirts. My t-shirts were selling like crazy. Now I'm lying. Nobody brought not one t-shirt. They buy not one t-shirt, but we didn't push it. It's a lot of work when you have multiple products. Like, there's multiple books that you got. People are asking questions about the books. It's kind of hard to now shift your focus to t-shirts or other stuff that we got going on. I didn't really get to talk about my course unless the conversation led that way. So that was cool. And then the audio book for my home buyers book, the audio book, I didn't really launch it per se, but I had it advertised down there, and we listened to it on the way down to Georgia, and that's my third time listening to it, and it's really good. Really good. I did everything myself. voice is my annoying voice, not an AI annoying voice. And it came out really well for a first audiobook. It came out amazing. And you have the option to get it with music or without music, but I think the music adds a great touch to it. You know, it's not too loud that it's overtaking my voice. It's just right. It was put on just right, and the beats are good too. You know, so instead of my voice drowning you or boring you to death, you have the music there, and sometimes the music hits like a a sample, and it could wake you back up if my voice was putting you to sleep or something along those lines. You know, so I will be doing Dogs of the Wild audiobook next. So we got a lot of work coming down the pipeline. I'm in the middle of 2 books right now, Dogs of the Wild 3. I'm a couple chapters in. I haven't touched that since March, though. It's been a few months since I touched that. And a Jason Bourne type book, it's been a few months since I touched that too. Getting to the creative space is kind of difficult when you're trying to get yourself out there. So it's hard to do, create, and...
In half a mile, at the traffic circle, take the second exit and stay on Highway 81 North.
Show up for events. Just released this new book, so a lot of work went into that. But it's hard to do it all, you know. So I'm gonna try to get a little more time to put towards to create, because I would like to put out 1 book a year for the next couple of years. I have some ideas, but I met a lot of authors. And authors don't realize the thing with ownership, which is
Exit the traffic circle onto Highway 81 North.
really,
Continue on Highway 81 North for 3 miles.
which is really a shame, because a lot of them are going to be giving over their work and not even knowing. Authors, we have some good conversation when they come by my table, when they come by my booth. Good conversation. But at Best Fest, it was definitely a movie. Definitely a movie. Steve Harvey was there. I would have liked to have heard Magic Johnson, Issa Rae, at the Biz Lawyer. Those are some people that I would have loved to have listened to. But we'll see how the recordings that we had set up, we'll see how that goes. And what else? What else was going on in there? I'm talking so much, my throat is dry. It was definitely a great vibe. We had this one kid kept coming by the table and taking all our chocolate. Hey, how much chocolate are you gonna take? You didn't even look at the coloring book. You're just coming by and snatching our chocolate. Aside from the flavor on the fork and the Gus yesterday, our basic diet for the whole event was chips and chocolate. Chips and chocolate that we put out for the people. I met the DTL 360 brother, the brother with the online bookstore, the biggest online bookstore. I met him. RZA Islam came by, because I didn't get to get the picture with him when he brought the books, but he came by with just doing his walkthrough That's why the people love RZA. He walk through, stopping by booths, buying stuff here and there. And my niece got him to come take a picture with me. You know, my niece is always on the prowl. I have been trying to connect with George Patterson from MBK for the longest time, and I would be in the same room with him, but it just wasn't the right time. So one time we were at the Eric Waterman's fundraiser dinner, and so he was right across the table from me, and I was on a tight schedule. I needed to. I couldn't stay the whole event, so even though he was right across the table,
In half a mile, turn left onto Hoyt King Road.
I couldn't introduce myself, so that didn't work because I had to go. Another time we were at Monique Waterman's event in Brooklyn, and he was walking out.
Turn left onto Hoyt King Road.
He was walking out the back door, and I had to go and speak. So I see him walking out the back door, and I had to go and speak, so I couldn't get him that time. And a couple other times,
Continue for 3 miles.
Shaka had us on a three-way, so I'd actually on a Zoom. So I was on the same Zoom with him, but again, you know, I can't cut the Zoom to try to introduce myself. So we're at a principal's conference last summer, and I'm telling my niece about, you know, that's George Patterson. I'm gonna go introduce myself, and how I've been trying to get to introduce myself to him with their program, the MBK program. So I'm waiting for him. He's talking to somebody, and somebody taps me and asks me about my work. So I turn around and I'm talking to them about my work, and it's another vendor. So I'm like, when I turn around, George is gone again. It's like Men in Black. He's gone. So when I look, my niece isn't there. So she comes back a couple minutes later. She's like, I got him, Uncle. I got him. I was like, she said, yeah. I asked him if he could come down and talk to my uncle by a booth. I was like, look at that. And so that was cool. That was cool. But she did the same thing yesterday with RZA, because she knew I didn't get the pictures with him with the books. So she ran him down, and was it his wife or his father?
I was talking to him.
Yeah.
It was his father.
Because I seen when they were walking away before they came to take the picture, the wife was like, I got you.
Yeah, she looked at me too.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was talking to the father.
Uh-huh.
And then the wife, we caught eyes, and she like gave me a head nod.
Right. So that was dope. But it's always great to see RZA has that great energy, you know. So it's always great to see him. But I didn't really Safari. I saw Safari was walking through. He was buying. He was at people booths buying. So, you know, you gotta always shout out the more known people who actually come through and support the vendors. You know, show love to the vendors. But it was a cool weekend. I'd like to come out to Georgia and spend a few days when I'm not working, because every time I'm here, I'm always working. So, come and spend a few days when I'm not working, 3 or 4 days when I'm not working. Work must be done. Yeah, so we got the Introduction to Creative Writing course. It's just called From Consumer to Creator. And my niece let me know I need to get a slogan to start my videos. So right now I'm trying to create a slogan to start my videos. So like a catchphrase, my own personal catchphrase. So anybody got any ideas, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. My boy Maxwell Bristol, his Kickstarter is still going on. Dr. Doolittle Kickstarter is going on, so make sure to run that up for him. But I need a catchphrase to start my videos. So if anybody has any ideas, throw them my way. Let me see. Oh, my niece is a beast, man. Was selling those books. Oh my gosh, I couldn't have done it without her this weekend. She just selling it, and to the she told me something funny last night to the moms that were buying Is your son ready to leave home? She was like, yeah, because the guys that try to date me, I have to teach them stuff, and I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. So the moms were buying up the book for their sons, which is cool, you know, which is cool. But that was funny. So we had a good time. We definitely had a good time. The voice is gone. The voice is gone. The voice is hoarse. Got the tea. Got to drink the tea. Heading back to New York and getting ready for Labor Day weekend. Won't be seeing me. I'm broke, baby. It's always a good time in New York. Labor Day weekend. Got some big events. The weather was nice out there now in Georgia too. So I got my Honda Accord that I always hit the road with. I love that car. The space for my knees. You know, you're not banging your knees. You know, when you get into your 30s like me, you start banging your knees. Those things don't heal as quick. So I love the space on the Honda Accord. So I go. The AC isn't working. Bring it to the mechanic. You can't figure it out why it's not working. So, all right, I'm still gonna hit the road with it. But I'm driving to New York from Pennsylvania, and I see it started overheating. I had on the defogger, so the defogger was keeping the car cool. It wasn't the AC itself, but it was keeping the car cool. I see the needle start overheating. Now there's a couple days before I'm supposed to go, so I bring it to him. Tuesday, I'm leaving Wednesday. I bring it to him Tuesday. He's like, boy, I don't know if you should drive this over the thing. And I'm like, you serious? And he's like, yeah, because he can't figure out one of the fans was not blowing. That's why the it started overheating when I put on the defogger. So he couldn't get the fan to start working. So he was like, he think I should use a different car to go. So I was like, all right. I end up going to the airport and get a small rental. So on the way down, temperatures hitting 90 degrees outside. So 98 degrees. And I'm like, yeah, imagine if I had the Accord with no AC, and then 1 minute it's pouring rain, next minute it's 98 degrees. So imagine driving with the windows up because it's pouring rain outside and it's 90 degrees in your car. I was like, yeah. My niece would say, I'm never going anywhere with this maniac again in my life, man. The hell, what kind of torture trip you bring me on here, man? But the rental car was a great move. It was a great move. I was just thinking, man, driving, raining, and you gotta keep the windows up and you're inside sweating, or the window is down and you hit a little traffic and you sweat.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto West Winder Bypass.
But driven my Accord to Florida. I've driven it to Georgia, to Atlanta, Georgia. I've driven it to Albany, Georgia. I've driven it North Carolina. Like it's done so many miles, and it runs.
At the light, turn right onto West Winder Bypass.
Highway gas is great. You know, I love to get on the highway with that car, but this time it just couldn't make it, man. So
Continue for 8 miles.
it blows cold air in the winter and hot air in the summer, but I still love that car. I went to Georgia back-to-back weekends last year or the year before. So I went to Albany, Georgia for the 4X boys with King Randall. He had his I Am a Man march, and they showed us a school that they purchased. So that was a dope weekend. And then the weekend after that, so that's a 15-hour drive. And then the weekend after that was Auburn Street Festival. That was a 12-hour drive. So that was 2 weekends in a row. The amount of times I've driven that Honda, but this time it just couldn't make it. So I had to rent a car. Everything happens for a reason. It was definitely a good move to rent a car. But you know, I'm pinching pennies because to launch a new book is not cheap. The Invest Fest food is not cheap. You know, food, gas, you know, those things are not cheap. So I was like trying to avoid adding the rental car to the bill. You know, it worked out. We sold a lot of books, made some connects. It only cost me $50 in gas to drive down. Filled up twice. It cost me $50 in gas, but you know, when you're doing everything yourself, it's definitely a burden on the pockets. Like you don't really have the leeway to play. But if you don't believe in your brand and not gonna invest in your brand, who's gonna invest in it? You gotta believe in it yourself. You know, I put out for the fits. If any of you were able to see the lives with the one I had on the fits, I thought those were dope. Uniform Palace, Darnell doing the thing. Actually, his oldest daughter was doing it. She was like, "Man, this thing took over an hour to do." I was like, "It's all right, it's all right." So I'm not gonna say the price I paid for them, but let's say it was $450 that I had to pay. So he wasn't in the store, so I'll be counting $4.50 to give to his daughter. She looking at me like I got 3 heads. So he's at $4.50, right? And he happened to walk in the store at that time as I'm counting out the $4.50. The Uniform Palace on Ocean Avenue, they always they get it right. They get it right. I know Chrissy, if she's listening to the live, she's gonna be like, "I keep telling you to stop saying man." You know, I have a bad habit of saying man when I talk, and I'm trying to cut it out. Was supposed to do some 10 push-ups every time I say man, and I don't like to do no push-ups. I don't like to do no kind of workout. So, but I have a really bad habit. Like I listen back to my videos and I hear myself saying man, 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 and I'm getting annoyed because she was actually the one that pointed it out to me, and she's like, "You gotta stop saying that, man." And I'm like, "Damn, I know, man." But I'm working. I'm making a strong effort to try to stop saying it. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good in videos. When I go back and I do a great video, and then I see I got man right dead in the middle of it, and I gotta do the video over. So I'm trying. So anytime you guys hear me say man, put a one in the chat. type man in the chat. Maybe that'll be my opening phrase for my videos. Man, oh man. I'm here. My knee's trying to sleep, man, and I'm rambling on. And there I go saying man again. But it's a bad habit. It's a horrible habit, speaking. So, especially when you speak. I don't think I say it when I'm in front of people speaking. I don't think I say it, but when I'm doing my videos, or it's like a filler word, because it's not easy to talk to yourself. Not easy to talk to yourself. You're filming videos by yourself, talking to yourself. It's not easy. So I have that bad habit that I want to cut out. But, you know what was really dope about the weekend? I got a couple of new things that I put out for the first time. The tripod, one that follows you around. I put that out for the first time. I got it because I just got it right before I left, and that was really nice, man. The lights, it has 3 different lightings on it. I think I saw it on TikTok again for $10. I'm not sure because I was kind of busy when that one popped up, but I got it for $30, and it's great. The only thing, it's supposed to follow your face around, but this thing was following everything but me. Every girl that passed by it was following. So how it works is it snaps your picture, and it knows your face to follow around. But it wasn't following my face. So I don't know if snapping the picture, it took a picture of my thoughts and was just following what I was thinking. But it was not following my face like it was supposed to. But what I realized is that when it's so much activity going on in the background, it kind of confuses it. So it was all over the place. But
There's a 9-minute slowdown on Georgia Highway 211 North in 4 miles. You're still on the best route.
it took me, the route that it took me is through the back road. It didn't take me to the highway, which is cool. That Georgia highway can be a mess even early in the morning. Yeah, so the tripod, all people that are doing content, that was pretty cool, man. There I go saying man again. That was pretty cool. The lighting was really dope. Just having it there was an added bonus. So I'm glad I saw it, and I'm glad I was able to purchase it. And I got another tripod for my trademark stand, because I think it's really important to talk about my trademark and show people my trademark, because I'm very big on ownership. So when people see the trademark, it kind of, especially authors, it opens up their thinking to another level on ownership, and then it gives me more of a voice to speak on certain things, because I've actually done it. It's one thing to talk about something, but it's another thing to actually have done it and speak on it. So when my trademark is big and bold in the background there, elevated on the stand, it's a good look. It's a good look. So we implemented that trademark. I think the new book was the talk of the weekend. That stole the weekend. It's just I'm ready to leave home book. It stole the weekend. I didn't get as many pictures as I normally do. I'll see it, man, again. If you guys are hearing it or not, but I did not get as many pictures as I normally do, and I'm really disappointed in that. That's one disappointment of the weekend. I was putting my phone to record live, so normally when people buy a book, I automatically ask them to snap a picture. It's content. Is when you don't have something to post, you can always put up a picture. Like I've got pictures from 2022 that I have not put up yet. I'm so far behind in pictures of people purchasing books, but it's just showing the amount of people that actually purchase books that I have. It's a nice thing to put the pictures up, but I did not get a lot of pictures of people purchasing books this weekend because I was trying to go live and using the
In a quarter mile, at the traffic circle, continue straight onto Georgia Highway 211 North.
and so forth. I was supposed to buy a camera, and the camera was supposed to be taking the pictures, but I didn't get a chance to get the camera, so I'm lacking on pictures this year. But they definitely were selling. I missed out on that. Hopefully people that got the book tagged take their pictures and tag us in it. But that's the one thing I was disappointed about, was not getting the pictures, because the book looks amazing, and we definitely sold a lot of books, so the pictures will reflect that, but they're definitely selling like crazy. So that's the one thing, because you always want to get content. It's a lot of work. We had a good time. A lot of funny stuff going on. A lot of funny stuff was going on out there. When you're working, it's always good to have a good time when you're working. Don't take things too seriously. Some people take themselves very serious, and they're the butt of the group chat. They're the butt of the group chat talk. They take themselves so serious, yet they're the butt of the group chat talks. Like, ease up a little, mellow out a little. Another thing is funny when you ask people to come check out your work and they tell you they'll be back, And if 100 people tell you they'll be back, maybe 6, 7 come back. The majority of them do not come back. You do have those that come back and get busy. There's a brother, I don't remember his name, but this is my 3rd Invest Fest, and I've seen this guy at every Invest Fest there is. So he always comes around when it's quiet, when maybe a big celebrity is speaking, so there's not as much traffic around the booths. But he always comes through, subtle, nice conversation. So this year he's like, give me one of each. Don't you got this book already? He said, nah, I've never brought a book from you before. I'm like, what the hell you mean you never brought a book from me before? All this time we spent talking, and you taking up time here at the booth, but he does drop some gems, He does drop some gems, but I didn't realize that he never purchased any books. This year he brought 4 books. He was like, there's no reason for him not to. He said he's always seeing me out. The consistency alone tells him that he needs to get these books. So as Coach Tanisha always says, you gotta show up. You gotta show up, bro. You gotta show up. Coach Tanisha always says that. Coach Tanisha got her financial literacy book for kids doing really well. Big time. Great person to have in your network is Coach Tanisha, at Coach Tanisha on Instagram. But she said, gotta show up, bro. Gotta show up. So then there's another guy that comes around whenever it's quiet. I always see him. 3 years in a row I see him. And I'll leave that story out of this. I ain't gonna blow him up. People that say they're coming back and they don't come back, hilarious, man. And then you have the people who are pretending to be interested in your stuff. And I go and I make my whole presentation spit fire. And like they just totally disregarded what I told them and try to sell me something.
That's the worst.
I'm like, come on, man. I said, you didn't get a booth here. You're coming to vendors who put out money to get here, to get a booth, and you're trying to sell them stuff like that. That's one of the most annoying things to me, honestly. And then you make me waste my time, and you're pretending that you're interested. Pretending that you're interested, and you're not really interested. And I've been able to pick them up for the most part, but sometimes a couple of them slip through. When I'm able to pick them up, I'm able to cut them off kind of quick and, just take what they have, and I'll go back through the stuff later, because I do go back through everything that I keep. But at that particular time, you're not interested in what I have. You just want to sell what you have, and it's kind of annoying, but you can't knock the hustle. It's just, to me, it's just annoying. I go and I give my pitch, man, a flawless pitch, and they didn't even hear a word I said. So let me tell you what I'm about. I'm like, bro, I'd walk around if I wanted to hear what you were about. Yeah. So we in the traffic now. And that's one thing I don't really do. I really don't go live. But it's something that I'm going to start to do a little more often. It's all red. It's all red. We're sitting in the traffic now, but got a long drive ahead of us. I try to hit the road off early and avoid the traffic, but in Georgia, it don't always happen like that. Certain states you don't want to be in rush hour times. North Carolina is one of them. Definitely New York. Be in New York driving in rush hour time. Georgia is another one. Maryland. Could kind of avoid Maryland. It's been real. Maybe I'll do a shorter review on Invest Fest when I think back on it some more. I didn't really think about it like that. The pros and the cons. I don't really see many cons this year. I had people wanting to purchase stuff and telling me, vendors were telling them that they don't take cash. And I was like, what? I said, all right, bring all your cash over here by me. I'll take your cash. Like, what do you mean you don't take cash? Like, what? Ooh. I don't get it. I could see vendors not having proper change, or they run out of change, which, I would more understand that than somebody saying they don't take cash. Shemai, you hungry? You can get something to eat now, or?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right,
In 1,000 feet, slight right onto the ramp to Greenville.
let me know where you want to stop. If you see something that you want to stop.
Okay.
Slight right onto the ramp to Greenville.
Is this the ramp?
I think so.
I don't know the e-breakfast, so it's what you see or what you
In a
feel.
quarter mile, merge onto I-85 North.
So let me know if you see something or what you feel for.
Okay.
So that wasn't too bad. No traffic there. We're on the highway now. My brother KG, his wife, they always the nice hospitality.
Continue on I-85 North for 121 miles.
KG be wanting the line, but I can't do it. 'Cause I'm on my feet all day. I don't take a break. And he want to bust out the Johnny Walker. He want to bust out the beers, and I'm like, bro, I can't do it. Next thing I'm slurring. People face calling me, what is your dogs of the wild in America? Like mixing up all my book titles. Slurring in the people's face. But, yeah, so I'm good. I'm good. I gotta tell him I'm sleeping. I'm fake sleeping. So he won't bust open the bar because he will bust open the bar at 2, 3 in the morning. Like, that's what it was Thursday night. Thursday night we into Friday morning, 2, 3 in the morning we up, and I gotta be there at 9 o'clock. So I got a fake sleep. So KG, you cold?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
No, that's fine. I got long sleeve. I got sweat. Oh, it's kind of cold.
so in case KG start knocking the door, talking about, yo, I got the black. This is what I'm saying. I need to come to Georgia when I'm not working. Come hang out, have a good time. So my homeowner's book, I have 2 different covers. I have a white cover, and I have the cover with a face split down the middle. So it's a face split down the middle. One side is my brother, that's my niece's father, and the other side is my father's, that's her grandfather. So it took us like 5 minutes to explain to this lady yesterday who was on the cover. And she was like, what's wrong with me? How come I can't understand this? But if you look at the cover of the homebuyer's book, it's 2 different faces. I just split the face down the middle. It's showing one from 18 and one to 48. Why can't they purchase their house? I was invited to a collaboration book project that I think I'm gonna join. It coincides with the Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? It's called It's a Letter to Your Younger Self, or Writing a Letter to Your Younger Self. So I actually think I'm gonna get in on that one. And then my guy Bobby Johnson does some great interviews. We may be doing some work real soon. I gotta catch up with him. It's been a busy few days, so I haven't been able to catch up with my guy Bobby Johnson. But he's out of from London. He's not there now, but we got some work to do with that. So constantly networking and collabing and showing up. This is where most authors drop the ball. The groundwork has to be done. But what's really dope is a lot of authors, or I'm seeing more and more people talk about the negatives of Amazon and putting your books on Amazon. When I first started trying to get my book out there, I had a meeting with, I paid for a consultation with Derek Grace. You guys know Derek Grace. He got all the tattoos on his face, and he gained a lot of notoriety online for having his young kids assemble and disassemble guns. So back in the day, he used to do a consultation for $299, and I was trying to get my book out there. I only had one book at the time, and I was trying to get it out there, and I needed some mentorship. I needed help from people that have done it. And he was selling books like crazy online. He had a lot of books. I brought a couple of his books. Him and Khadijah Grant. So I did a consultation with him. It was $299, but he doesn't do that anymore. He's gone past that a long time ago. But when I did the consultation with him, we were discussing what Amazon does, and I had it in my mind that I wasn't putting my books on Amazon. Like the way Amazon works is Amazon is continuously making money. The authors are not making the money on Amazon. If you're a popular person like maybe Kevin Hart, Barbara Walters, those kind of people, Stephen A. Smith, they put their books on Amazon, and people know to go there and look for them and purchase their books on there. But Kevin Blaize, people not looking for Kevin Blaize on Amazon. They don't know who Kevin Blaize is yet. So why am I putting my books on there like that? So that was my mindset. And the cut that Amazon takes is, to me, it's ridiculous. Also, they have influencers telling you that on the high end, you get $4 a book. And I'm like looking at it like $4 a book on the high end. What are they talking about? So they said most authors get about $3 a book, and on the high end, $4 a book. So new authors that are coming out there, I'm sure they're researching these kind of things, and they're expecting that that's what they're supposed to get, because this is what's being pushed out there. So I don't like the cut that Amazon keeps. I don't like that you can't get the email list. I don't like that if you violate their terms, that they ban you from the site. You can't get back onto the site. They keep your residuals. And from what I'm hearing is you can't sell in certain places or get your book. I don't want to misquote anything, but from what I'm hearing recently, I didn't know this before, is that you can't sell in other places when you sign those contracts. So if I heard that part of it, I would definitely even more said, no, I'm not getting on Amazon. To me, that's just insane. Why would I have a book and own a book and I'm limited to where I can sell it, where I can purchase copies from? You have to purchase your copies from them. Like, it's insane. And this is when it comes back to ownership. Ownership is is important. So another problem with Amazon is you're not learning the business when you're doing it with Amazon. Amazon is doing everything for you. Their quality of work is horrible, in my opinion. Self-published books from Amazon, to me, they look horrid, honestly. They don't really care about the product that they're sending out. From my learnings, your book, even if it's self-published, is supposed to look like a big publishing company was behind your book. So you stand your book next to a published book, from a big publishing company, they're not supposed to be able to tell the difference. And to me, Amazon doesn't do that. But Amazon is the one making money. There's a lot of authors on Amazon, and they haven't made any money. So if you line up 1,000 authors and they all sell one book, they're not making any money, but Amazon is making money because they have 1,000 people that they've charged to make a profit off of. So what I call Amazon the 90s record labels. That's what I call Amazon. If you think about the way the 90s record labels had a grip on the artists, and the artists weren't making any money, even though they were making they were making the labels a lot of money. It's the same formula here with Amazon. It's the same formula here with Amazon. They're making all the money, and the creator is not making any. And to me, that's not the way that it's supposed to be. And I can't get down with a program like that. So, and you have to learn the business. So what happens now? You did your KDP, all right? You're great. You're an expert on KDP. You know how to upload. You know how to upload your book to Amazon. Now what? They lock you out of your account. Now what? Now you got to go learn the process all over again. No, you have to. No, not all over again. Now you have to go learn the process of how to put your book together. So many people think that Amazon is the only way to go in. Not saying that you can't use it, but that should definitely not be your only form to promote your book, sell your book. And I haven't been out a lot this past year, in different places throughout the city, because I've been more trying to network. Since I got my DOE vendors permit, I've been more trying to network. But when I was going out a lot, I was running into a lot of authors, and they weren't selling any books. You know, I was selling 50 books a week, just out of being outside, stopping people, telling them, you know, can you check out my work, and they all were saying, you know, maybe I should do what you're doing. It's not easy. It may look easy, but it's not easy. You hear a lot more no's than yes, and it takes time. But the things that they had in common, they were all on Amazon. They didn't have their own websites, and they never had physical books on them. So if I'm talking to you one-on-one, why would I not have any copies of my books? Or why would I send you to another platform, to Amazon? But people have gotten so comfortable not knowing how to do anything, and just thinking the click of a button and done, and they have no clue how to put their own book together. So you're self-published, but you have no clue how to publish your own book. Oh, and this is what Amazon is doing. Yeah. They have people thinking that they're self-published, but Amazon is your publishing company, and they're getting all the benefits of your work. So there's a young lady by the name of Vision Avant, at Vision Avant, who talks about this in depth. And you know, I've been saying it for years myself, but I just don't. It's not something that I built my platform off of. But she publishes authors, and she helps people speak and those kind of things. So she's talking about Amazon a lot. You know, she's talking about the pushback that people give her. Speaking of pushback, when I edited my first book, my editor, when I told her I wasn't going to Amazon, she thought I was crazy. We used to go back and forth about that, but now her tone has changed on that as well. is every time Apple released a new phone, that would be when he would release his face covers. His phone said it was a great strategy. He was making a lot of money, and then he noticed the change in Amazon. He said he noticed that you used to be able to get people on the phone to talk. He said stop getting people on the phone. Couldn't get a phone to call, a phone number to call. That stopped. And then he said you couldn't even send them an email. He was like, what the hell? So he ended up stopping business with Amazon. But another thing with Amazon is I think they have the most patents in the world. So what they do is, again, ownership is key. And you have a product that you created, came from your mind, and you put it on their website to sell, and you start making a certain amount of money. They go and they create a cheaper one and clip your account. They create a cheaper one and they clip your account because they know most people don't have the $20,000 to put a patent on what they created. So it's very predatory. Very predatory. So if you have a product that you believe in that much, you have to get investors to patent the product before you go and put it out there on a platform like Amazon, because they will clip your account, stop you from being able to sell it, and sell a cheaper version of yours and patent your idea. So it's a spooky world out there. Spooky world. Isaac Hayes. Is it Isaac Hayes the third? I'm not sure. I don't remember his Instagram account again. But the brother that's put together the fan base app speaks on ownership all the time. Very, very wise brother. And he's does that make any sense, man? But people are laughing at artists that have done it, yet they're doing it in real life with these platforms that they're going on. They're signing over their rights, and they're not reading the terms and conditions. So I expect every platform to eventually do it, from YouTube to Instagram. I expect them all to do it. So, but there are platforms that are smaller platforms that let you own your work. You know, so at the Biz Lawyer, her husband has a platform like that where you can put your stuff on his platform and you own it. You know, those are the kind of platforms we need to start to collab with, because I believe all of these big platforms are eventually trying to take all of your content and be able to use it however they want to use it. You know, so it's a slippery slope. It's a spooky world, and if you don't protect what you create, it's considered gone. In my introduction to creative writing course, from consumer to creator, the very first thing I have the students do is make me sign an NDA. So I'm teaching them the components of creative writing in the course, but the very first thing I have them do is make me sign an NDA, because I'm putting them in the mindset that this is business. Contracts rule the world, lawyers rule the world. And if they don't understand that from a young age, they're just going to be as far behind as the adults that are in the real world right now. So the very first thing they have to do is make me sign an NDA. They don't even know what an NDA is, but they are making me sign it later on in the session. We go in depth of what an NDA is, but they have to make me sign an NDA. And the very first thing, before anything is done, I have to sign an NDA, because it's setting them in a different mindset from the beginning, that you're creating here, and what you create is nothing to play with if you're serious about your work. I had a lady come up to me yesterday in InvestFest and try to tell me the idea that her son is writing, that her and her son is writing. I stopped her. I told her, I said, you don't know me. Do not tell me your idea. And I'm not going to take her idea. I got my own stuff that I can use, that I want to use, that I want to put out there. But other people are not me. They'll take her idea in a heartbeat. They'll take her idea and run with it. You know, or they'll take her idea and mention it to somebody else who's going to take her idea and run with it. And I could even do that. Say, yo, this lady had an amazing idea, such and such and such. And then the person I'm telling it to takes her idea and runs with it. You know, so you wanna be careful when you're sharing your thoughts with, your creations with. Stop talking about it and start being about it. Stop repeating I want to do this over and over and never do it. Like, you just like to hear yourself talk. Get busy. If you put 5 minutes a day towards it, it's better than nothing. But people love to talk about what they want to do and what they're going to do and what they're doing, and next thing they know, somebody else put it out there before them. When I went to bring my jerseys to Uniform Palace to get my newest fits, there was a guy in there, and he's telling the young lady in there, I'm not sure who she was, I had never seen her before, but he's telling her, you know, yeah, I've been sitting on this idea for a while, and I've seen somebody else start to do it, so I want to put it out there now. So you sit on an idea and you wait until you see somebody else doing it, and now you go and you do it. No, the time has passed, bro. That ain't your idea no more. They put it out there before you. Now you want to hustle up and go put the same thing out there that they put out because you were thinking about it. No, bro, that's not how the real world works. It's not how it works, man. You have an idea, move on it. Got a good friend of mine, Super Roy says, an idea without any action is like a bird without wings. You're a bird, but you can't fly. That's an idea without action. A lot of people have ideas and don't take any action. It's a waste. It's a waste. So today's lessons: protect your work, move on your actions, make actions on your ideas, and stop telling everybody your idea. I'm not one who's scared of bad vibes. Like you see people say, don't share what you want to do because people negative energy don't have no power over here. Like, all the negative energy they want, it's not making its way over here. I'm not scared of that, but you have to stop telling people your ideas before you secure it. I've had people come to my book, open up my book to the copyright page, close the book, and walk away. Why? See if the work is protected. You can't put work out there that's not protected because it will get stolen. It will get stolen. So, that's today's lesson. Protect your work. Protect your work. She was ready to tell me the whole thing. And I had to kind of cut her short too because I'm working. Like I don't have time in that particular space to hear everything that you got going on. Like it's not the time and place for that. I'm there for a particular reason. And I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but I'm really not here to hear your ideas and what you want to do and what you're gonna do because it's a limited amount of time that I'm there in that space that I paid for. So there's a time and place for everything, and when people are in a space that they pay for, it's not the time to really hear everything that you got going on. You want to tell me what you coulda, woulda, shoulda done. It's not that time. It's not that time. You can book a consultation. If you want to do that, you set up a consultation. But at that particular time, I'm there to work. I'm there to get busy. It's not playtime at all. It's not playtime. I don't even really stand behind my booth. I'm out in front of my section the whole time, trying to stop everybody that can pass by. So when I told her, hold on, don't tell me your idea, she was like, yeah, you're right. I normally don't do that, but it was just in the conversation. I was like, yeah, I get it. And I told her, I said, I don't want your work, but I want you to stay in that mindset of not sharing your idea. Don't share your idea. I'm there waiting for homeboy to finish. He hustling up to try to get his idea out there because he's seen somebody else start with the idea. So what are you gonna say? No, I had the idea first. I just didn't put it out. No, I had the idea first. I just didn't put it out. Time has passed, man. Time has passed. You think ideas just come to you? The way how things navigate is weird. Like you would be singing a song or humming a song, and then a person a couple minutes later is doing the same thing as humming the song, singing the song. Like things travel. The idea is not unique to you. It doesn't stick with you. It's just who gets on it. Who gets on it? Who makes the movements? So you can sit there and procrastinate, but you better bet somebody else is moving on it. Somebody else is definitely moving. Wrapped up a great weekend. Best Fest was amazing. It's an amazing time. I'm still in Georgia. South Carolina is coming up next. I'm not even sure how long it takes to get out of Georgia, but next up for me will be Lockfest. Lockfest 2025 will be next up for me. I'm going to be doing another launch in Lockfest 2025 of Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? That is on September 7th in Brooklyn, New York. Her Instagram account is @Lockfest. And Kim, shout out to Kim. Next up is Lockfest. We will be there. I will have all of my books, and I will also have my popcorn and cotton candy machine, depending on no, I'm definitely gonna have my popcorn and cotton candy machine for sure. You know, so that's the next place you can find me. It's September 7th. It's Sunday, September 7th. Sunday, September 7th at Restoration Plaza. I will be there with all of my books. I'm launching Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? That's going to be my first Brooklyn launch, and then I'm doing another launch on October 18th, District 17, doing a launch with them October 18th. So Lockfest is September 7th, and October 18th I'll be doing another launch for Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? We got some exciting things coming up that I haven't announced yet, but we're making some moves. Constantly working. The All Black National Convention was this weekend as well. Dr. Boyce, Errol, the whole team. I wasn't able to attend. That's my favorite event. But when I reached out to them early in the year to ask the dates and what city it was going to be in, I didn't get a response. And then I see that it's the same time as InvestFest when I was already lined up to go to InvestFest. So I really enjoy All Black National Convention. If any of you get a chance to want to get around some serious folk investing, and I would recommend you guys check out that event. Dr. Boyce Watkins. That's an amazing event. ABNC. Well, that was the same weekend as InvestFest, and I would have liked to have pulled up, but too much stuff going on to leave where I was working to go over there. But everything happens for a reason. Lockfest 2025. Kim, locked in. I'll be there. Launching Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? That's my first Brooklyn launch. Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? School year is about to start. All the teachers out there, principals. Being a principal is not an easy job. It's not an easy job. You got people pulling at you from all different angles. It is not an easy job. People pulling at you from all different type of angles. TED Talk. I was recommended to go on TED Talk. See what that's about. I got iPad is not letting me see the screen to see who tuned in or who didn't tune in, but it was great hanging with you all this morning. If there's anybody on here, I'm not even sure. We had a great conversation, or at least I had a great conversation with myself. Hopefully you learned something. And I'll catch you guys in a few hours. I'll come back on a little later, let you know how progress is going on the trip. All right. Blaize, man, signing off. Talk to you.